Okay, I think I am live. It's Christine here. Thanks for joining me. It's kind of a lunchtime layout share. It was a last minute decision about 10 minutes ago to collect some of my layouts that are on my boards. And we have a brand new annual catalog and just released the beginning of May. And so I thought it's time for me to refresh all of my display boards. And so if you haven't seen the new annual catalog, I invite you to head over to my website, christineroberts.stampinup.net, and check it out because there's a lot of really great new product available right now, actually, for you. And I thought it would be great for me to just do a little share. I'm not exactly sure what is available on the last chance section of the website, but I thought that I might just direct you to some of the layouts that I've created in the last 6 months and maybe a bit more, up to a year. And let me just adjust the volume on my other device here. Put the volume down. There we go. So this one, Friends of the Ocean. Now, I'll apologize now because I won't know the names of all of the things that I'm showing you. I might remember, I might not remember the name of them, and I might not get the names correct. So I wanted to just give you guys a heads up on that. But this one was Friends of the Ocean, the collection, or the name of the paper, the DSP paper, in addition to some cardstock, and I've done some embossing. So I'm not exactly sure either what you guys are going to be able to see. I'm going to try and adjust. There we go. Adjust that. And I'm going to slide this stuff over. So hopefully it's a bit more zoomed in, maybe a bit more focused. I think you can see a little bit of that embossing on that cardstock there. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this one. This is a little snapshot of a day when we were in Cabo just this past March. And I wanted to play with these crabs and lobsters, little ocean friends. Anyway, this was a fun one. I'm not sure what's available, like I said, full disclosure, in terms of what's on the while supplies last kind of a listing, but this was a really fun layout that I enjoyed creating. And I'm going to just kind of power flip through. Hopefully this doesn't take an hour, my layout share, but I do have a lot of layouts to share. Let me just straighten myself out here. So this was one of the ones at the beginning of the last catalog. So this was Flowering Zinnias, and I absolutely adored this collection and the stamps that came along with it. And as this was an intro for me to Stampin' Up since coming over from Close to My Heart and using some of their DSP papers for scrapbooking. And so I really absolutely love this paper line, mostly because of the bright colors. I really enjoy the bright colors, and I really enjoyed working with the slim alphabet dies that we have available still in the catalogs, and their dies. So this was kind of my first exposure to some of the dies that they've got that coordinate with their collections. So this was one of the ones for Mother's Day. Just a basic, very easily replicatable for you if you're viewing and watching and you're needing a little bit of inspiration. These are just 3x3 squares, and I've just kind of created a bit of a grid with my photos and fussy cut out and die cut with the cardstock some of the zinnias from that paper line and the coordinating cardstock. So this is some more of the Flowering Zinnias. This is a little snapshot of my daughter Olivia's little baby, Otto. So this was a new addition. She had just brought Otto home, and Otto was playing with Marissa's dog, Frankie. So this was, again, me playing with some of the different die cuts that are in our stamp combos, or this is a stamp and die combo that I liked to be able to incorporate into the scrapbooking. So if you see anything as I'm flipping through and you're wanting some questions answered at all, I can see, let me see if I can see here on my, I can see on my other device what's going on, if anyone's tuned in and is making any comments, or if you're watching this on the replay and you have any questions about some of the items that I've used here, just drop me a message or comment underneath of the video. So this one was the autumn line that we had, and I absolutely loved this one, and of course the colors, but autumn is my, that's my favorite season. So This, you guys have seen some of these layouts already, but I just thought I would do a flip through. I do have a couple workshop kits available, and you're creating, I believe it's 3 double page layouts. We'll find out as I flip through, but it's time for me to start filing these finished layouts into my albums, and I thought before I do that, I would share them with you. So this was a walk at the zoo, one of our favorite places to be, with Miles and Sydney and Marissa. And Thanksgiving dinner. So also just a really basic kind of a design here. If you're looking for more inspiration, these are 1-inch strips. The photos are matted in a cardstock. I've added a little bit of cardstock with one of our circle dies, and added some of the stamping from the stamp set that was created to support this paper line. Simple 3x3 grid background, and just some scattering of photos. I like to add those 2x2s. You'll notice as you watch my video here that I like to incorporate the 2x2 photos. This guy here, this was a fun event. This was a brew at the zoo. It was a brand new event at the zoo by our place here that started at 5 o'clock. So the zoo to the regular people, attendees, is closed off, no kids. And then this is a local breweries and cider companies having a little sampler taster kind of a event. And we just walked around certain areas of the zoo. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to them improving it and doing it again this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. This was me playing with some of the leaf dies. And so again, like I said, if you see something that you like, you can easily just go onto the website as well and just plug in autumn or leaves, things like that, and you will find lots of inspiration and perhaps exactly the items. But like I said, if there's specific items that you are liking the looks of, let me know, and I will try and source that out for you. So these are 2 single layouts that I created from the remnants of that kit and creating those 3 double page layouts. So those layouts I just showed you are all in a kit where some items are pre-cut for you, actually. A lot of the dies I've pre-cut for you in that kit. And there's instructions that go with them. So this guy here is just an extra that I created from that. So it was leftover bits. There was a sketch that I saw that was some inspiration in terms of the layering. I just had some fun using the embossing folder to create some texture and dimension with some of the tags that I already had in my stash. And I really liked the Valentine's themed dies and stamp sets that we had, and I've just incorporated it here with some fall paper because, of course, hearts and stars and those sorts of things are universal. This doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day only. So this is just a little snapshot. I really like these pictures of Marissa and Miles, and it was his birthday on that day in October, and so I thought this would be a nice one to capture. Now, this layout, like a lot of these layouts, I have to decide now which of these layouts are going to end up in my scrapbook, or that are going to go into Miles's, but it just means I have more that I can scrapbook if it's going into his album. So this is another one that I did as well, where Miles is helping me in the garden, harvesting last year some of the cucumbers and zooks and stuff that I had still growing. Anyway, it was cute because he was just standing on his own merits, essentially, not walking yet, but doing some standing. And he really loves to be out in the garden with me. So I thought that was sweet to capture that little moment of Miles. Of course, you're going to see lots of Miles photos in here for sure. Here we go. Here's another one. So Sweet Safari was a paper line and a workshop kit that Close to My Heart had released many years ago. And in one of my trips down there for founders, we were given access to some of the bits that were kind of left over in some of the workshop kits. And so in this instance, I had access to some of the Sweet Safari bits, the stickers, some of the die cut pieces that were part of the workshop kit, but I didn't have the pattern paper with it. So what I did is I brought the components home and worked with creating the layouts and adding in cardstock and other papers that I had from from some of my own stash to create these kits. And so I do have extras of these, several of these kits. Like I said, if you see anything that you like, send me a message. This one is called Sweet Safari, and it's 3 double-page layouts and the cutting guide to all of them, and the photos and all the rest of it. But they always look better in person. And I mean, you can probably get a idea of maybe some of the texture and dimension. You've got this gloss embossed sticker sheet, and we've got some of these acrylic pieces. I know that Close to My Heart used to have lots of these acrylic pieces, and for some of you, you might look at them in a bag and say, what am I going to do with these guys? But I've just used a liquid adhesive, like a white glue, like the, let me see if I can find it right here. Oopsies, knocking things. My little Tombow liquid glue. And a lot of you might also have the Crafters white glue, things like that. That would work really nicely for your acrylic pieces. But I've half a mind to actually recreate these layouts once again, perhaps even for maybe my album, because these ones will go in Miles's. So I really, really liked this line, and because I have kits still available, I might just recreate some of these with more current photos of him now, because of course he's thoroughly enjoying playground adventures now that he's older and running and walking around. So this is the second layout that goes in that kit. I've used it for baby photos, but with this one, I'm going to change the title up and do probably one of our zoo visits with Miles and the girls, because we go to the zoo a lot. So that's another one that was in that kit. And then this is the other one, the last one that's in that kit. So there's the components in here, and this rainbow background, and that is all part of the kit. And there's instructions on how to cut it down. And I just like its bright, cheery playground pick. There's going to be lots of those when it comes to Miles. So this is another kit that was a Christmas kit. I've incorporated the Stampin Up St. Nick DSP paper with this one. And I've used the components to the Close to My Heart Christmas kit that we had. And I've added in some die cut pieces that are all pre-cut. This is all part of the kit. So you've got this gold foil and these leaves, branches, and even some of these little fabric buttons. So this is kind of like a combination of Stampin' Up product and previous Close to My Heart product that I've put together for a kit. Again, same thing, 3 double-page layouts, instruction for assembly and cutting, and some color photos. And so this is one of the kits, but I am really looking forward to today actually putting these photos into my albums, because I don't know about you, but when I'm doing scrapbooking, there's often times when I just love photos and I go back to the photos, and there's very often a multiple scrapbooking of the same photos. And I need to start a better tally system of what I've scrapbooked and what I haven't. But with the new catalog coming out, I thought it would be great to empty all my boards and clear out my workshop here with all my displays that are on the walls, and get those layouts back into albums now, and then start fresh with some of the new products. So this is the second layout, double page layout. And like I said, all of this is cut out for you in the kit with a little bit of some ribbon sample and all the rest of it. So basically everything that you need to create and recreate these exactly as I've done are in the kit, or you could, of course, could tweak them for your own needs. And then this is the last double page layout. So a little bit of fussy cutting required to cut out some of these trees in the pattern paper, but it's just a really sweet collection, great traditional colors for Christmas. And I have done some printing of my journaling and added it to these pages here. So this is a layout. We were at Loon Lake this past weekend. No, I don't know. The beginning of May weekend. It's funny, I don't even know where I'm at right now in the month. But anyway, so this is a layout that I had created. The day before I went off to Loon Lake, Miles was over with Sydney, and we had set up the water table, and hadn't really given this water table a huge chance to get scrubbed down or anything like that, but just filled it with water and thought it'd be fun for him to play in it. The temperature has increased around here, and so it was fine for him to be in the water outside because the sun was shining. But it was pretty adorable because he just kept on going back to this water table. Sydney has picked up this little Miracle Grow watering can and a few other things. And he discovered that he can dip his watering can into this little water basin and fill it with water. And then he was pretty impressed with himself because he was able to drink out of it, which we all were kind of a bit cringy on, but that's okay. Good germs. And so I have, of course, took a million photos of this one activity in an afternoon, which kind of cracks me up. But I must have 50 pictures at least of him playing with this water table. But I was going through my stash in my personal stash in my workshop here, and I have so much paper, so much amazing paper. And this is just really a mixture of all kinds of paper lines. Like I can't recall even what this one is. This is a really old company that it doesn't make product anymore. Jelly bean soup, I think, was one of them. Jelly bean soup. This is a background paper from a Creative Memories pack, a outdoor play Creative Memories pack. I fussy cut these butterflies out of a sheet of pattern paper. And then this little embellishment of the playground is from a Creative Memories pack. Anyway, it was just a really fun one to do. And when I had seen the pictures and the colors in this paper, it was fun to just play with some contraband, something that's not close to my heart and not Stamping Up last weekend. Anyway, this one is a favorite of mine. I'm going to have a hard time deciding whether or not this is going to go into my album or his album. So some new stuff. This is a new line. I think I might have posted a photo of this one recently. This is called Celebratory Sips, and it is a mouthful. If you've had any celebratory sips, you wouldn't be able to say that DSP paper pack title. This is just fussy cut out of the pattern paper. So the embellishments, as I have them here in terms of the fruits and the cups, are part of the DSP paper, and I've just fussy cut it out. I also did get a stamp set in thin cut that came complements this pack, but in this layout I haven't used it at all. I just really wanted to play with the paper and get a real sampling of all of the different pattern papers that are in this kit, this was a nice summary of all the pattern papers. And this is another layout of our trip from Cabo in March when we had a chef. We brought a chef in to cook for us a lunch one day, and then we did it another night for a dinner, and it was really quite nice to have that treat of having the kids all there and us, and we were able to just kind of relax and play some games and be served some drinks and some lunch. So it was pretty spectacular. We were very fortunate to be able to do that. So that is the one layout. Now this will become a workshop, just a heads up for those of you that are curious. This will be a workshop working on a second and third layout for this one. So I will keep you posted on that. Now, meant to be the bumblebee paper that some of you may have thought, oh, I don't need this bumblebee paper. Who likes bumblebees? Well, I love bumblebees, but I'm not normally a cutesy pattern paper kind of a person. And so this was a bit of a stretch for me, but as I was working with it, I loved it because, again, I like the bright colors. And this was, what was this? It's a birthday celebration at Olivia and Richard's place where they had a cute little cake for me, and we made my favorite dinner, Greek food. So this Our Hive is a die cut that is in the stamp set that you could get with this paper pack. So this was a stamp set that had some bumblebees, and it had this title, and it also had a whole bunch of the octagon shapes. And so for me, when I saw that stamp set and thin cut combination, it was a definite add to cart for me because I love this shape, and this die can be used for something that has nothing to do with honeycomb. But these little honeycombs and these little bumblebees is a little add-on die that you can get with Paper Pumpkin. So because I subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, there's some products that become available to me because of that, and that was one of them. And it supported the Paper Pumpkin cards that were part of the subscription. But in this case, I was able to use them again in this scrapbook layout. And so I do like stamping directly onto my projects. It's you have to not be too fussy about whether or not it's a perfect stamp or it's not, because you can see even here, I went off a little bit. But it's okay. This is kind of your art and this is time for you to play. And I really liked having the accent of the black. You could just draw a black line with, a marker, if you wanted, or a journaling pen, or you could also, in this instance, just have this matted in a black. I kind of wanted to bring in the black because of the bees. And I could have matted it in black cardstock, but I also didn't. This is a great way to add some extra bit of texture or design to your projects without using that cardstock. Cardstock's pricey, adds up. And I also don't want my layouts to be like 10 pounds. So that's why I chose to do that. Anyway, that's a cute one and a nice record of my birthday celebrations. This is another layout that I did recently at Loon Lake with some of the leftover bits of this paper and paper pack. And this is also a layout guide that I have this week coming out. I'm a little late on this one. This is a end of the roll kind of an idea with what papers are actually available still with Stampin' Up, but I do have several of these kits at home. So if this is something that you're interested in terms of the meant to be paper, again, send me a message, let me know. So this one I've used the dies. I've embossed the dies with a honeycomb embossing folder that I have in my own stash. And I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to try and bring it up and see if it can get some focus. You see these little guys right here? Little bumblebees in a kind of a gold tone. So adorable. They come, let me reach. They come in a little pack like this, loaded. I don't exactly know how many are in here. Does it say? It says you get 40. And they are called Tiny Bee Trinkets. Anyway, super cute. Bit of an indulgence, really, because it's a tiny little thing, but I still have loads left over, as you can see, and I've used them in all the layouts that I've featured here so far. So this was a fun, I'll tell you the story on this one really quick. This was a fun thing that the kids had organized. They were gone for the day. John and I were watching Miles and at the home that we rented, and the kids were in the marina and they were shopping and saw a bunch of these wings and butterfly bandanas and little wands. And they thought it would be cute, and they knew that I would appreciate all of us having kind of like a theme day. This was one of the evenings when the chef was cooking our dinner, so we were able to have a few drinks on the rooftop deck and just be silly with our wings. And anyway, it was great fun, and I appreciate that they were thinking that and participating in something like this that they knew I would get a real kick out of. So anyway, cute one to document. These, all of these little bumblebees that I have here were just cut out of the pattern paper. So I did use the sticker sheet, because you can get a sticker sheet with this pattern paper. So I did incorporate the sticker sheet as well in these layouts. But this is a die. And now if you're going to want to get the workshop kit that I've got, this would be done for you. These pieces will be done for you, so you don't need those bits. But everything would be in there for you. So this guy here is the last layout in that paper collection. And I added a little insert because I did have some extra photos. It was a baby shower that we went to a few weeks back for Olivia's good friend Madison and her little baby Jane. Just a beautiful little baby. And I just thought that these colors would work well with a little baby shower layout. So I started with this, these photos and this layout design, again, using that paper pumpkin die, and then just fussy cutting out these bees. And then a couple of these guys these are stickers from the sticker sheet. So very simple design, getting as many photos as I could on here. And I like, as you can tell, the variety of the different sizes of photos. And then I just had a couple extra photos and some journaling that I wanted to add to this. So this will be the little insert that I put in my album. And so then this little memory from April is created, and I can get it. I'm going to tuck these guys right away into my albums. This guy, I think you guys have seen. This is the Daffodil Delight, or no, Floral Delight is what this one is called. And I absolutely loved the stamps and thin cuts that came with this paper collection. So again, not sure what's available, what's not available, but I'm not a yellow girl. So the fact that I actually loved this yellow paper and the way that the layout came together means that anyone can change, I guess. And I'm thoroughly enjoying the thin cuts that Stampin' Up has to offer. So that was back last year in July, our anniversary. So that one. And then I've got, now this is the birthday one. This is the last one I'm going to share with you guys. This is the birthday. Oh, actually, no, I've got two more to share with you. Birthday paper, Wildflower Birthday. And I love all of the gold embossed bits in there. And I really liked the tags that they had in there as part of the cut apart sheet that they have. This is the story behind this one here is that, there was a photo from Marissa's, I can't even recall. I'd have to look it up. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like her 5th birthday or something like that. If you can see it there. Yeah, it's there. Where she's got her cheeks full of cake and she's kind of squishing it out. And I would have said, hey, Marissa, take your picture. And then that was how she used to react to me when I would ask her for a photo, is she would just be a goofball and fill her face with food. So anyway, every time Marissa still does fill her cheeks with food when she eats. That's kind of part of what the journaling is that I added in this flip flop here, is that's something that at 28 years old she still does, which I think is pretty cute. Actually, I think it's cute because I'm her mom. But this was a series of photos that we went outside to try and recreate this photo here. I mean, sort of. She's not dressed the same or anything like that. It was just the concept of filling her mouth full of food. So she didn't really, she's too pretty right now and, you know, has to do the cute poses, which I also appreciate the fact that she was sitting for this in the first place. But I wanted to, just show you my inspiration for this layout, because a lot of the layouts, and I see things that are out there and I just kind of recreate and roll with what, I'm going to end up. I mean, sometimes I never really know what I'm going to end up with when I'm working on a layout. But in this instance, I'd seen this layout online, and I really loved the design of this layout. And so there was just the tags, and I thought, oh, the wildflower paper's got tags in it, and maybe I could incorporate that. So this is basically what I saw and was inspired by. And then I thought, okay, how can I actually stretch this into 2 pages? So this was another sketch that I had seen, and there's lots of sketches out there in terms of access. This is just a free sketch that was on Creative Scrapbooker magazine or their blog or whatever. So I saw this and I thought, well, maybe I can take this for my right-hand side and just kind of like have these lines repeat. And instead of having it go short, I was going to run it the full length, which is what I've done here. So just to try and make it look like these are connected, right? You can see here that I totally did not follow really anything else on this layout here. Did not copy the photo placement or size or anything like that. I just liked this kind of look of the lines. And I put this together on a piece of paper, printed it out, and kind of stuck it in here as like my inspiration. And when it came time for me to sit down with this paper to create, then you just kind of let your creativity go and you make your layout. And there was a certain number of photos that I wanted to be able to get on here as well. So this is how I basically arrived at this layout. But it was a very fun one to do. And I did get into the Gilt, that distress spray, the Dina Wakley spray that we used to sell with Close to My Heart. But of course, I still have all of those sprays. And so I wanted to add a little bit of the gold splatter on there, which is what I did. And that was that one. So I've got 2 more to do. Now this is non-close to my heart, getting into my stash. So this is my goal for this year, is to get using the product that is in my studio that I have been hanging on to, because I obviously love it and I want to create with it. And so I'm trying to intentionally work with all the product that I have in my scrapbook room. And so I just thought it would be fun to share this one, which was just a layering of components, stickers, old stickers. This is one thing to watch for. I could probably take this off. I should touch all these up, but a lot of the old stickers from my stash have really lost their stick. And so that's something that I've been noticing with the product that I'm hanging on to for so long, that when it's just sitting on their carrier sheets, you really kind of we need to be intentional and start using our product more, which is my goal for this year. So this is a birthday treat. The girls took me to the ballet a couple days before my birthday into Granville Island. And so we just kind of had one good picture. And so this was a perfect little layout for something bright and cheery. And I threw that photo on there. Now I can put it in my book. And this is the last one. No, I've had these pictures of my girlfriend Vicky and I. It's a goofy photo shoot, but looked back on the date. Did I put the date on here? Yes, May 6, 2023. So I've had these photos sitting in a little envelope with this background paper. And I had always kind of envisioned I wanted this rainbow effect. And I wanted to, in my mind, my thought was I wanted to create my embellishments or add my embellishments to try and mimic the rainbow. That is the background paper. And so just looked at a bunch of die cut things that I already had shoved in a bag. I basically really was just pulling things out of my stash for this one. So this is the Close to My Heart paper, Dream Maker, I think it was called, the paper pack. And I've cut out the flowers, with a new one. I'll pull that one out for you here. This is a new, this one is called Pretty Florals. And this is a new stamp and thin cut combo. And I quite liked the flowers on this one. So maybe I'll pull it up a little bit closer if you guys can see it. It makes a nice flower. I like the flowers. That's what kind of I was drawn to when I saw it online. As a demo, we get to see the product early and we get to order it early. And so this one kind of spoke to me. And, so this was kind of my decision to purchase this floral one was, there's always new florals. There's always florals and floral dyes and there's always something new. And so for me, I wanted something that was slightly different than maybe some of the other ones that I have. And I was, attracted to some of the branches because I want a variety in the dyes that I have. And I liked the layering, for the flowers as well. So that was why I decided on this one and ended up putting this one together. And again, like I said, I was looking through my stash at some of my different stickers and embellishments that are just in the same color. So that this is not anything that goes together. It's just stuff that was from my stash that I kind of threw down the bits to, leftover bits of things. So that was a fun one. But I've got this right here for you. I'll just give you a little sneak peek here too. The Sweet Blooms is one that is new. And it comes with Bloom and Lovely. So that die cut part you saw on the celebratory sips layout, that's where I die cut that out from, was from this die set. So you can get the stamps by themselves. You can actually get the dies by themselves as well. But I bought it as a bundle because you get a discount. I think it's 10% less if you get it that way. And then this is Cheers and Sips. And so this is the stamp and thin cut pack that goes or complements that celebratory sips paper. And you can see I've stamped and die cut out all kinds of extras because when I'm creating, if I have extras and they're already done, I could just color them in. It saves me time and it just increases my flow of creating. So you can see that there are dies for the cups that actually work with the DSP pattern paper in the paper pack, but like I said earlier, I just fussy cut out those glasses. But this is what the Stamp and Thin Cut looks like too. So these are kind of a peek here at what I chose in terms of what to order out of the annual catalog, which is new. But there's so much good stuff in there, and I've got an order coming tomorrow or the next day, and I'm going to do an unboxing for you guys so that you can see some of the new stuff that I decided to purchase. So anyway, hopefully you had fun following along, checking out some of the layouts that I've created in the last half year or more. And now I get to spend my afternoon putting all of these guys back into albums and making a list of what I still would like to accomplish for this month. So take care. Thanks for tuning in. Happy to see some of your comments. I can see I've got my little live feed going on here. So I see Leah and Betty and Deborah and Ashley on live with me. Hope you guys have a great day. And for those of you that watch the replay, like I said, send some comments below the video and I will try and get back to you quickly with whatever questions you have. Oh, here's another little sneak peek before I tune off and say goodbye. This little corrugated bit if you can see it, that is an embossing folder that we just came out with. So lots of good stuff inside the catalog. If you haven't had a chance to flip through, grab some tea and coffee or whatever and put your feet up tonight with the with your iPad or the actual catalog if you have it in your possession, and do a little flip through. There's so much goodness in there. Anyway, take care. Enjoy your Wednesday. Thanks, guys.